I'm about 2,000 rounds into this gun and not one malfunction, no issues. I run it dry, run it wet, run it in all kind of adverse conditions, and it has held up phenomenally. What is up, guys? Welcome to Love for G.T.S. That is Love for Guns, Tactics, and Shooting. I appreciate you guys jumping on here and joining me for another video. This one is going to be a revisit or review of the Smith Wesson M&P 2.0 Carry Comp Compact or Compact Carry Comp. This is going to be a performance center model from Smith Wesson that is absolutely a joy to own and shoot. So we'll dig into the details here, but first, a disclaimer for YouTube so that they don't try to take my video down. I am not selling any guns. I'm not selling any accessories. Just talking about experiences, videos for entertainment purposes only. But I'll throw a disclaimer up here real quick, so stand by. For YouTube, we do not sell firearms or firearm accessories. This is for entertainment purposes only. This channel does not facilitate the sale of firearms or firearm accessories. We do discuss products, including firearms and firearm accessories, and talk about our experience with them or opinions of them. Please always do your own research and consult professionals before making any decisions. Also, all shooting is done in a safe range and a safe environment. When handling or discussing firearms outside the range, we remove all live ammunition. Thank you. All right, so moving past that, again, appreciate you guys being here more than you know and more than I can really say, even though I can say it 100 million times. All right, so let's get into the Smith & Wesson and talk about what we have here. This is a gun that can be used for carry, defensive purposes, and of course for duty purposes as well. There are a lot of agencies that run the M&P series for duty purposes, and I actually transitioned to carrying this gun for duty purposes also. Now, not going to get into the controversy. I did move from a SIG P320 over to the M&P to carry on duty for one reason or another. If I could, I would still be carrying my P320. So that's a whole different conversation. Now, I do love carrying this gun, and Smith & Wesson has definitely given us some very great options to use for self-defense and duty, and we'll dig into that. So let's talk about a little bit of the specs of the gun first off. This is a 4 1/4 inch barrel. Gun is overall, I think, 7.25 inches in length. So let's remove this mag here. So gun is clear. Now, starting at the slide, we'll start from the top and just move to the bottom. This is not a review, so we aren't going to go deep into the specs, but we'll just cover up some of the main features here. This is what Smith & Wesson calls a power port. So it has a port in the barrel and in the slide that line up, and the rifling stops before the porting, which makes it a compensator. And there's a difference between ports and comps, and that is one of the differences. All right, has some relief cuts on the side here, relief cut on the top. A lot of people are porting the barrel there for some additional gas diversion up top. This gun has very aggressive serrations on the slide, make it easier for manipulating front and back. It also has like a little mini wing here, if you look right there. So when you grab it, it's easy to manipulate from the back. Stainless steel slide with a Armonite finish. This finish is proprietary for Smith & Wesson, and it is a very good finish. It holds up pretty damn well. I've been putting this gun in and out of a holster thousands upon thousands of times, taking it to the range, tossing it around, and just utilizing it, running drills for tactical purposes, and like I said, the finish is held up pretty damn well. This does have a polymer frame. It is offered in a aluminum frame as well as a steel frame now that they dropped in SHOT Show. They have a steel frame model. 2 steel frame models actually, but this is the polymer frame. This is the compact version. This does come in full size, which is a little longer, which had I known I was going to use it for duty purposes, I probably would have got the full size, but I already had this compact, so I decided to just transition to using this for now. So that's a little bit about the main frame and slide. Sights, these are night sights up front, and then a serrated blacked out rear. See if I can focus on the front sights. You can see that there. See that beautiful yellow night sight there? It picks up really nicely daytime or nighttime or outside or whatever you're doing. I did choose to go with a TLR7 HLX by Streamlight on here. Very bright light that gives you plenty of light for whatever situation you're in. This does have a flat face trigger, which is a pretty damn decent trigger. I'll just show clear again. We'll test the trigger out. A little bit of take up there. It's actually has a good amount of take up, but that slack comes out really smoothly and easily doing live fire. So it's definitely not an issue. Once you get rid of that slack, you do come to a defined wall, and there is a very, very minimal amount of creep, and it is a really solid break there. So I'll show that one more time. Get to the wall. Very, very solid wall, and it breaks. Now the reset is one thing that could be better on this gun. I will say that. The reset is not long, it's short, as you can see there, and you're right back on it. So I'll show that again. Reset, boom, right there. Now the one thing about the reset on this gun, which is one of the things that is a somewhat of a negative depending on who you know are talking to. The reset is not that audible, and it is not that tactile. So it could definitely be more tactile and more audible, for sure. There are a lot of triggers out there that are a lot better on the reset. That is why a lot of people go to like Overwatch or Apex is the most popular one. And these guys are cutting grass, so hang on a second. All right, I think my grass cutting guys are far enough away that they shouldn't interrupt the video, but let's just get back into it. So I think we covered all the main features of the gun. This mag release is a aftermarket accessory. I forgot where I got it from, but the extended mag release and the magwell both came from the same company. I didn't spend a lot of time blending there, but it hasn't caused any issues. Magwell overall does its job really well. Now the slide stop is extended. As you can see how far it sticks out of the gun, so it makes using that and dropping that slide really, really easy, either way. So locking it back, boom, or when it locks back after last round and releasing, very, very good there. And you can see how far that sticks out. So it is extended as well. On this particular version, I think all of the carry comps have it extended. So that is a definite plus from Smith Wesson, because I know on some of the models it was really slick and hard to get to. So enjoy that for sure. Now one thing I do like is it does have a little undercut here. It's very mild though. I do wish that undercut was a little bit deeper so I can get a better purchase on there. And I wish that the trigger guard is one of those things that I'm starting to really become a fan of, is the double undercuts. So when you are using your support hand, you can get a good grip there, and then your support hand does a slide or move. So I do wish it had that, but you know, doesn't hurt anything. There is no shelf or ledge there on this gun. But honestly, unlike some guns that I've shot, like even the P10C from CZ, now great shooting gun, I'm not knocking it by any means, but one of the things I do find myself doing is like trying to find a little ledge there to get a good grip on it. But on this particular gun, I have not had that problem. I'm inserting this mag for aesthetic purposes. There's nothing in the chamber, no rounds in there or anything like that. But this is how I carry it. So the gun comes with two 15-round mags, and this is an extended mag base plate, which is a +5, I believe. So it gets like 20 rounds in there. What is that brand here? I'm trying to remember. SP. Springer Precision, that's what it is. So the mag release, the magwell, and the extended base plates are all from Springer Precision. That's what it is. So in case you're wondering about that, I was sitting here racking my brain trying to figure out where it came from. But at any rate, this is what we're using here. I'm about 2,000 rounds into this gun and not one malfunction, no issues. I run it dry, run it wet, run it in all kind of adverse conditions, and it has held up phenomenally. So, is this one of those guns that, you know, I would buy again? Absolutely. I've enjoyed my time with this gun, and here's the yard guy again. Give me a second. All right, holy crap, man. It's like they know when you're trying to shoot a video and they want to come use the weed eater more right by the window. So at any rate, going back into the gun, overall, this has been a great gun to own. a great gun to carry, and even for duty purposes, this gun has held up immaculately. So definitely one that I would buy again, and one that I would use for defensive purposes as a EDC, and even on duty. I mean, this gun has been great. So the negatives here that I would talk about are the sights. Now, the sights overall are great. I mean, these are actually really nice rear sights and a very, very nice front sight. For me personally, I like taller sights. I like the optic height or the, sorry about that. Let me just clear this real quick. I like optic height or suppressor height sights like I have on here. So majority of my guns that I EDC or use for any kind of duty purposes, they all have taller sights. Even my P320 had optic height or suppressor height sights on it. So I pretty much change all of my sights to these taller sights. I just love the way they look. Do have a video on this gun as well, which I'll probably be doing a second video on. So that'll be coming soon. But this video is not about that particular gun. This is about my duty gun. This is my primary, one of my primary EDC guns. I carry two different P365 versions. But at any rate, so that's one of the negatives, talking about the sights. Even though it's not a negative, it's more of a personal preference, not an actual knock on the gun, because these sights are great. But I do think that they will make co-witnessing hard because of how low they sit. That's the one thing there. The other thing is the comp or power port on here. Now, does it vent gases? Yes. Does it do a great job at it? Not really. It's mediocre. Now, this gun already, without the comp or port on the front, this gun already shoots pretty damn well, pretty flat for what the striker fire competitors do. This gun is one of the best options on the market. And does this help? Yes, absolutely it does. Is it just vented gas is so hard that it keeps it so flat it's like a 2011? No, it's not. All right, so this could definitely be wider, and I know some guys are widening theirs or adding the 2 or 3 ports, usually 3 or 4 ports. I think 3 is what I've seen mostly. 3 ports here in the barrel, which allow an additional venting of the gases and makes this gun absolutely flat. So since it already has the relief cut there, you port the barrel and boom, there you go. Another criticism I've heard from people are these Smith Wesson barrels, just saying that they're not accurate out to distance, right? Now, again, I typically shoot between 7 and I would say even 5 to 15 yards is kind of what I focus on in my training. All right. There's really not a reason to be shooting out past 15 yards with a handgun. When you start shooting out past that, you get your rifle. Now, are there shots that you may have to make that are beyond 25 yards? Yeah. Have I had any issues with this gun up to 25 yards? No. I have shot it up to 50, and I've gotten relatively good accuracy on it. Now, I will say within 15 yards, it is the most accurate. When you start getting out to 15 to 25, you do see your groupings start to open up a little bit, but nothing crazy. It's relatively good for what you're doing with a handgun in most situations, whether you're, again, civilian, EDC, defensive purposes, or your duty reasons. You're normally not, doing anything outside of 15 yards. So I don't have a problem with the accuracy. It's been great, but I have heard criticisms about the accuracy of the barrels out to distance. So if you're shooting distance with your pistol, that may be something that you may want to look into, is getting an Apex barrel or one of the other options that are out there. Me personally, I'm good with what I have, although I may look into upgrading it in the future if I decide to maybe go with a silver barrel to kind of go with the color scheme of the gun. Then I may go ahead and upgrade the barrel and get some ports and open up this comp on the front. So it's definitely something to think about. The serrations on here are very aggressive, so manipulating the gun is great. Now, that is a positive for me, as well as the texturing on the grip. This texture is very, very aggressive. It's like a skateboard type texture that Smith & Wesson is pretty much known for using. Now for me, those two things are excellent. But depending on who you are, if you have softer hands or if you're somebody who doesn't like the aggressive stuff, this particular model of the M&P may not be for you, because these serrations are very aggressive. Now they do smooth out a little bit over extended use, because when I first got them, or got this gun, these serrations on the slide were very, very kind of sharpish, and they would like kind of cut your hand or whatever. But the more I used the gun, it kind of smoothed out, and you could also take like some mild sandpaper and smooth it out to do it quicker. I don't know what that'll do to the finish, so I didn't do that. But like I said, I'm about 2,000 rounds in, and over the course of using the gun, it smoothed out, and I don't really feel it being overly aggressive. What else? Let's see. Yeah, I mentioned the undercut earlier. That could definitely be more pronounced. They could add a double undercut. Some things that Smith & Wesson could go back to the newer version or the next, version and kind of update. The cut for the optic could be a little bit deeper, or they could just add, taller sights out the box, and then that would alleviate that problem. So I think that's it, man. Overall, it's been a great shooting experience. Definitely has had no malfunctions and no issues. I haven't had to send it back to Smith & Wesson for any reason. It has run phenomenally. Now, since I've been using the extended base plates, I haven't had an issue with the 15 rounders. They won't work in these mag wells. So one thing I can say is the base plates here, like on here, this is also some Springer Precision base plates. This is just beveled or, kind of straight so that it goes in the mag well. But the original base plates that are on the M&P, which I don't have one to show in front of me right now, they're kind of flimsy, and I don't really remember liking them very much. So that is one other criticism. Outside of that, man, I don't really have any other complaints on this gun. The reset on the trigger could be better, which I talked about. Oh, there is one other thing. This right here, so this is the takedown lever, how do you say it? So when you want to take the gun down, which I'm not going to do, I'm just going to show you how it swivels there, kind of like the P365 and the P320s. I love the way that they take down. Not using that Glock type situation here. These are very easy to take down. Now I do wish that there was some more aggressive or extended, I wish this was extended like this slide release. If the takedown lever had an extended piece where it has this texture in here, that would be great. Or if it came out so you could use it, if it had a part in the front or whatever, I don't know. That would be cool, because this is pretty smooth and slick, which they probably did because they just want to get it out the way. So I'm just kind of nitpicking here, because I don't really have any issues, man. I love this gun. It shoots great, and it's definitely one that's at the top of my list of guns I enjoy shooting. So I'll throw some additional B-roll in there of me shooting the gun, and that's going to end the video, man. I appreciate you guys stopping by again and spending some time with me. Love for GTS out.